I never blow dry my hair. So
I did.
Exquisite hair here. There it is.
I had to tame my locks. My mane had to be tamed.
All right.
Are we out?
Yeah, I think we're live here.
Oh yeah. As we're talking about hair.
Talking about my hair.
Grow it, show it.
Long as I can.
All right, I'm just making sure we're good here. And it's just me today. Julie is out adventuring. So Amanda here, taking her place. I'm so happy that Steve, Gabe, and Amanda all showed up to talk about books today, so that you didn't just have to hear me weep about Nichelle Nichols. Yes. So anyway, let's talk about some books. Steve will go first, then Gabe and Amanda. So let's go. Steve, please take it away.
Okay. Well, the first book I'm going to talk about, I can never get the angle right with the light. Here, let me try this. That's a little better.
The Rabbit Hutch.
Rabbit Hutch. Wait. There it is. Hard to see. Rabbit Hutch by Tess Gunty. This is a debut novel. Comes out tomorrow. There's a great profile of her. It was published in the LA Times yesterday. And this is a novel. The Rabbit Hutch is like this apartment, really rundown apartment complex in this made-up city in the Midwest called Vacaville. It's one of these cities, small cities that used to be an industrial town, and then when the industry left, it's become really run down, and more people want to get out than come in. And there's a group of characters who live in this building. They nickname it the Rabbit Hutch, and it follows each of their stories. There's one character in particular that you follow. She's kind of central to it, but it's one of these great stories where all these separate stories are somehow going to come together in the end, and that's what she does. It's really well woven. A lot of it's hard to read because of the situations with each of the people suffering from abuse or drug addiction or just stupidity. There's like these three young teenage boys I think they're all like between 18 and 20, living together in an apartment, complete idiots. Just really interesting characters, but it comes together great in the end. I think you're going to hear a lot about this author, Tess, because she's a terrific writer. She's young. I think she's just turned 30. I really recommend, if you can, look up that article in the Times yesterday on her, because it's really interesting, not just about the book, but about her and her development as a writer. So that's coming out tomorrow. Again, it's by Tess Gunty. I know you can't see it very well, but it's the Rabbit Hutch.
That has some great blurbs.
It is good. It's really good.
Yeah, I see the author of Everyone Knows Your Mother is a Witch, highly acclaimed. I really liked that book. And Mark Danielski, the author of House of Leaves, gave it a really great blurb.
Yes,
too.
that's true.
Yeah, so got to check that one out. Okay, Gabe, your turn.
Am I sharing screen, host?
Just a sec here.
Make it so, number one.
No. Engage.
Uh-oh. Qu'est-ce que c'est? So I'm going to start off with one of the great minds of the 20th century, Buckminster Fuller, Inventor of the Future by Alec Navala Lee. Some people may not know Buckminster Fuller. Some people may not have been around in the heyday of Buckminster Fuller, because it has been a few years. He's been gone for a while now. But Buckminster Fuller is one of those great minds that everyone admired. He is best known for his geodesic dome design, but he's, he had a car called the Dymaxion car. He was into architecture. He was into technology. He was into designing things. And he is best known, I think, for using a really unconventional method of design, using I can't understand it, but using some factors that of the universe that are I don't know, I can't explain it, but he had this really unconventional kind of beyond the realm of our current existence, and his view of geometry and how he used geometry in his plans in a really unconventional way. But he really is one of the great minds. I think a lot of his heyday was right around when the Wozniaks and Jobs were coming up, and he was a big influence definitely on Silicon Valley as far as innovative designing goes. So this book captures a look. It's a look at Buckminster Fuller as the man. Like I said, much admired. He was not perfect. There is some of that in here as well. He was a little bit of self-serving. He was a little bit of a self-promoter. But I think when you're always looking for funding, you always have to sort of promote yourself. And I'm sure that was sort of his existence as a scientist and a creator. I'm sure he always had his hand out for funding. So I think some of that goes back to that. But a really super interesting man with really big ideas that I can't really explain. But Alec Naval-Ali does a good job of bringing this personage and this person into a pretty clear focus, and you can see what he did and what he's been responsible for. And he is a big part of why technology is where it is today. And he's still given much props. So, again, one of the great minds of the last century, affecting, things going on in this century. So a good biography, strong. Alex Naval-Ali's won a Nebula Award. So he's a futuristic kind of a writer. So I think this is right up his alley.
Cool. I'd never heard of the Dymaxion car. That's
Dymaxion car.
That's some James Bond stuff. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he had. I obviously, at genius level, is where he was. He was beyond where we are.
He'd be a good one. The New York Times always does they do the by the book column every week where they always ask the authors, what 3 authors, living or dead, would you invite to your dinner party? He'd be a good one, I think.
He'd be a good one. He saw a lot.
Yeah.
And he was in the know of a lot of things, because a lot of people went to him from NASA, from Ford Motor, everywhere. Everybody wanted to know a piece of him.
Cool.
Architecture, he did it all. The Dymaxion car is kind of cool, though. Beats the VW bug.
I urge everyone out there to look it up. The pictures are wild. It was designed to perhaps fly, land, and drive. That's why I said James Bond stuff. So, okay, Amanda, your turn.
Yay. Okay. Oh, wait, I can't share my screen. Yeah. Yeah. All right. All righty. So the first book that I have for you today is The Devil Takes You Home by Gabrielle Iglesias. So this is a gritty noir thriller. So those are super popular right now. So this story centers on a desperate father whose daughter unfortunately has succumbed to cancer. And when he is unable to pay the medical bills and his marriage starts to disintegrate, he turns to a life of crime to try and restore his relationship and pay off his debts. This is set in Texas. And my Texas rep said, this is actually what the Texas sky does look like. If you're wondering about the Christmassy colors. So there is that. The author is from Texas. So definitely writing about what he knows. So this is, we're definitely seeing a lot more of these kind of dark, gritty noir books, and so this is a great book to have. Generation, this genre has really been dominated historically by white men, so it's nice to see a person of color in there telling a story. It also has been picked for the Indie Next list for August, so that's super fun to have as well. So there you go, The Devil Takes You Home by Gabino Iglesias.
Looks fun.
Yeah. Are they a debut author?
This one, let me refresh. I believe it is. Yes.
Maybe.
Yes, this is his, I believe this is his first.
That looks great. Yeah, and the Indie Next write-up was really intriguing as well.
Mhm.
Mulholland Books does a lot of cool, unusual
Yeah,
thriller stuff.
a little different. Yeah, it's a little different. I know,
Yeah.
with this cover, at first I'm like, why does it look so Christmassy? But then my Texas rep, she's like, no, like this is the Texas sky. And like, this is what the Texas sky looks like. And we're like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Okay.
there you go.
I'm a little. That's a little scary. Okay. It's your turn, Steve.
Okay, coming back around. Now, this is a book I know that was recommended at Tea Time from Warwick's a few weeks ago, but it's one that I really love, so I wanted to talk about it again. It's Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. She's primarily been known mostly as a young adult writer and very successful and well-loved. But this is an adult novel that can also be read by young adults, I think. And it's about two young people who meet, I think they're like just early teens or preteens when they meet. And the boy has chronic illness, or I think it was an accident. So he's in the hospital a lot for operations. And the girl, they come from different backgrounds. He's Korean, she's Jewish, and but she comes to the hospital and to visit him, and they play video games. They bond. They have this great bond over video games. But right in the middle of their blossoming friendship, he discovers that she's been coming to see him in part to get school credit for doing, outside charity work, and it just cuts him really deep, and it creates this chasm between them and ends their friendship at that point in their lives. Well, later they come back together. She's going to MIT. He's also in I can't remember what university he's at in the Boston area. And out of that coming back together, they end up becoming they form their own company and become incredibly successful game creators. Always there's stress and love in their relationship all throughout the story. But one of the great things, you don't have to know anything about games or gamings or even like video or computer games to enjoy this. Because one of the great things they do is the games they create are really reflections and manifestations of their personal worlds. And it's just beautifully done the way they do it. This is just a great novel on so many levels, and it'll leave you feeling heartbroken and hopeful and so many things. So that's Gabrielle Zevin's Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow. And
I'm tearing up thinking about it.
Me too. And it was a front page, as you pointed out to me earlier, a New York Times book review. So there.
Beth, who's watching right now, says Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is the Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show pick for the summer.
No.
That's awesome.
That's cool. He's actually picked some really spectacular books. they have. So they got someone good over there, and I always like the books that they ended up picking. So
Yeah, I think I trust his judgment.
Yeah, he's Jimmy Fallon surprised me. I remember when he left SNL, I'm like, dude, you only got like a year or two under your belt. You're not, I don't know if you're ready for anything, you know? And then he actually did a little book. I think we were selling Perseus back then. And he did a little tiny book, and he was at an ABA or BEA. And I got to meet him, and he was really young.
Oh,
And his sister was like 25, and she was like, I don't know. They were both really, really young, but he's done great stuff, and he's a thoughtful young man. He was a thoughtful young man. That was a long time ago.
oh yeah, I forgot
20
about
years.
those books. He did their thank you notes. Yeah, I remember those.
oh, is that what spawned off his Friday night thank you notes that he does on his show now?
Yeah,
I love those. Those are always so funny every Friday
yeah.
with the music and everything. So
His impersonations are so good. It's my favorite thing he does. Okay, it is Gabe's turn.
And now for more, I wish Julie was here. I never thought I would say that, but man, I wish Julie was here. Where is she? That was a good one, and she's not here.
Oh,
You know what? Jules really loved this book. She read it for us. She gave us an Indie Next blurb. It is a book that, the thing about Jillian Medoff is she's a really good writer. She wrote her initial book was Hunger Point, published a long time ago. It was when Judith Reagan came over to Harper, that was on her first list. And I got great reviews. We had some really nice sales. And, she garners really strong reviews, to this. I think this is her 5th book with us. Always gets great reviews. And we haven't quite gotten the sales, but she really is a really insightful writer. And she is a very funny writer. And that's the fun of reading Jillian's books for the most part. This book is a Me Too. It's a little courtroom drama. It's a little domestic melodrama. It is a young man who is accused of rape. He is a young white man, 19 years old, an athlete at an Ivy League school, perfect target to be called out as a rapist. His girlfriend says he attacked her. And of course, he's the profile. He fits the profile of a rapist in everybody's mind. So the whole family gathers together. And so this is also a story, and maybe mostly Cassie, who is his older sister, just turned 23. So there's about 3-4 years difference in the age. Fiercely protective of her younger brother, and she knows he's not a rapist. And she knows that to the core of her being. And we see her start exploring her history and her past. And she's got a secret embedded in her life as well. And she's had a relationship with an older man, which she thought she had control of all her life, but perhaps it's not as it seems. So it is a book that really melds what's happening right now into a really readable domestic family narrative with some courtroom drama. It's a page turner. Jules loved it. I'll bring this up again next week to have so Julie can go off on it a little bit more, because she was a really big fan of this book, as am I of most of Jillian's work. But this is, I think, her best novel in a long time, and deserves to be looked at and deserves to be read. And it's not one of those devastating novels necessarily, but it kind of wakes you up and it makes you see things. And I think this is the kind of thing that people who are making laws and passing laws and doing things should be reading, and they're not have any interest in any of this. But it's a lot of what's going on and what really occurs in one's life that one's not aware of, especially women. So can't say enough about Jillian ever, and this book in particular. She's back running on all cylinders here.
I saw that there's a huge banner on bookshop.org for that book today. And the quote from Jennifer Weiner was, 2 parts Gone Girl, 2 parts Notes on a Scandal. and we'll play with your expectations about who's the villain and who's the victim.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
Mm.
Yeah, that
That's a
sounds like
good blurb.
sounds like a Julie book. Okay, Amanda, your turn.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Nope.
Sorry, interrupt. I forgot to mention tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. I think we have a few autographed copies left if anyone needs a good gift for someone. Just to throw that out there. Okay. Go ahead, Amanda.
Okay, here we go. All right, so next
Ooh.
up, I have a middle grade novel. Here we go, Aleana, Girl of Dragons by Julie Abe. So this book here, so Julie is a local author to Southern California. So I always like to shout out to my Southern California authors. So it is a Japanese inspired Cinderella retelling. Here we go. So Aleana believed in dreams and fairy tales, and her grandmother used to wish upon shooting stars, and they hoped that one day they would get to visit the capital city to see the queen. But unfortunately, her grandmother has passed away, and all of those dreams are now have gone away. So now Aleana is forced, of course, to attend to her wicked stepmother's all of her demands at their family's inn. And so, of course, you know, she like stays up late cleaning. She has to embroider her stepsister's ball gowns. But then she meets two beings that change her life forever. The first is a young night dragon who Aleana discovers that she can talk to magically. And the second is Nella, a young witch. So now Nella needs Aleana's help navigating the mysterious abyss that is filled with dangerous beasts. And, you know, maybe those fairy tales weren't so fairy tale-y after all, because Aleana knows it by heart. And this is, of course, Aleana's chance to break free from her stepmother's grasp. So there we go. Aleana, Girl of Dragons. Love a good
That sounds great. That's
Right.
exactly the kind of book I would want when I was younger, and maybe right now.
It's never too old for a good middle grade.
Yeah, especially the Talking to Dragons. I was thinking just yesterday actually about the books that really affected me when I was younger, and the books that my mom thought made me stop going to church were dragon books. Like Melanie Ron's books and Anne McCaffrey and
That's good. That's going back.
Yeah, well, I'm getting up there. I'm getting long in the tooth, but those were really just so that looks like it continues in that tradition.
I love a good retelling. Gail Carson Levine for me growing up, Ella Enchanted and all of her little retelling fairy tales. So I'm always a sucker for a good retelling of a classic fairy tale. So
yeah, like Cinderella with dragons. Yes, please.
Why not? Why not?
All right, lightning round. Steve, take it away.
Okay, well, my final pick for the day is a book called Deli, Weds, Destiny by Tommy Abarro. And this is a novel that came out I think it was at the end of June. And it's one of those books that I really enjoyed, but it didn't, the reviews didn't land the way we hoped. And that happens sometimes, more often than we would like. But it's a terrific book. It's about these three Nigerian women. They meet when they're in college. They're totally different personalities, but they kind of by happenstance end up coming together and forming a friendship and go through some real crises in college together. One of them ends up marrying a Peace Corps volunteer, and she comes back to the United States. Another weds a very wealthy man, not someone she's in love with. And anyway, so that's the first part of the novel is when they're young and in Nigeria, of course. And then they come together many years later because one of their daughters, her name is Destiny, is marrying a fellow named Deli, and they come back together for the wedding, the title is misleading because we're not really sure if Deli and Destiny are going to get married after all. And anyway, it's a great women's friendship novel. Someone put it, Crazy Rich Asians meets Americana. I think one of the reasons it's like struggled a little because it's in a weird place where it's commercial, but it's literary, and you're never sure, which way, how to market it, the team at the publisher. It's a great read. Maybe you'll find its home in paperback, but I just want to put it out there. It's a real trip. I really enjoyed it, and it's not a book I would normally pick up, but I did, and I really enjoyed it. And it's Deli, Weds, Destiny by Tommy Abarro.
You're getting some love, Steve. Kim says Hurricane Girl was excellent. And also Deli Weds Destiny is really fun and could totally see it on HBO.
Absolutely. It would be a great little miniseries. Yeah.
Yeah. And Beth just got a copy of Hurricane Girl as well. So.
Oh, good. Yeah. Hurricane Girl. Just love Hurricane Girl.
Cool.
Glass Face for those of you who have read it.
Yikes. Okay, Gabe.
So I'm going to go to something a little different. And it is Mika in Real Life by Emiko Jane. And Emiko has written a young adult novel called Tokyo Ever After. That got really great reviews, did really well for us. Amanda loved it, apparently. We didn't publish it, I don't think. Anyways, really smart. She's got a great sense of humor. And this is a little, this is full blown. This is actually an adult novel, getting a lot of really good attention. And it is all about Mika Suzuki, whose life is is a big mess. Her last relationship, like all her relationships, just ended in flames. She's afraid her roommate's a hoarder, and she's getting squeezed out of her apartment. She's obviously a huge disappointment to her very traditional Japanese parents, and she's probably at the lowest point in her life when she gets a phone call from a 16-year-old little girl named Penny, who it turns out is the child that Mika had put up for adoption 16 years earlier. And Mika paints her life paints herself as being more successful than she is, and her life as being much better than it really is. And of course, the closer she gets to Penny, the more things are going to come out. And she's, gets caught up. And so there's a little bit of tension in there, it's going to happen. So, a real simple, little predictable novel. You kind of know what's going on, but really briskly told. And I think a really good character. Mika is a really strong character. Penny is an adorable character. And then Penny's adoptive father, who is now a widower, is also in the picture, and could sparks possibly fly between Mika and Calvin. So sweet novel. I think Emiko does a really good job of keeping the tension up and keeping you turning the pages. This will be a cute movie. You can see the casting in your brain, but really a lot of fun. And all these books are on sale tomorrow, but you can call it order them today. And I'm actually going to be in the store tomorrow, taking Jessica Anya Blau down there to sign some stock. And so we'll be there about 11:30 or so.
Wait, who?
To sign Jessica Anya Blau, who wrote Mary Jane.
Oh, cool. We have quite a few fans of that book at the store.
Be there tomorrow too. The Bareilles descend upon Warwicks.
Coincidentally.
What, really? That was an accident?
Yeah, I have my appointment with Adrian tomorrow.
I told Adrian I'm going to
Wow.
be down there with Jessica. She goes, oh, wait, Amanda's here at 11.
What would the collective noun for a group of Barillas?
It's the Bareilles.
Bareilles.
Bareilles? Oh,
Bareilles.
Bareilles, okay.
That's what we
The
say.
Bareilles.
Like the Grackeye,
A gathering of the buddy
Imperial
Hesses is
Imperial Rome is
the
where we-
Bareilles.
Yes. basically the pater familia here. Everybody is under my domain.
Kiss the ring. Kiss the ring.
Don't encourage him, Amanda. Don't encourage him. Please don't.
Old
I have
school,
to go home
man.
with that.
Old school. We're going back to
Okay.
ancient Rome.
Sorry, I keep bringing this back to tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, but Mika and in real life reminded me. Sorry, again, in the review of books, there was another column about Gabrielle Zevin, and she apparently doesn't really have social media. Like, she has an Instagram, but doesn't really do anything with it. And she said, she pointed out that curating an online persona really isn't so different from adding an Instagram filter to your picture. And I keep thinking about that. I'm like, gosh, it's kind of true. Like,
And I'm like, you can get filters for your Instagram?
we can have filters here on Zoom if we wanted to.
You can add like fun stuff.
Yeah, we could look pretty ridiculous. I won't get into that. Okay. Amanda,
Here.
bring us on home.
Yeah.
Batting
Okay.
cleanup.
Is it on? There you go.
Why would you put pizza on your head?
I don't know. It was the first one I found. How'd I turn it off?
Oh, you
Why
have a birthday
wouldn't
hat.
you? Why wouldn't you do
Why wouldn't
whatever?
you? Come on. You gotta liven it up every now and then. You know, why not? Okay, last one I've got. Here you go. For all of you Buffy fans out there. So this is a young adult book. This is actually a prequel. This is a Spike prequel. This is the first of a trilogy that we have coming out from Disney Publishing. And so this is set at the turn of the 20th century in London, where Spike is there with his love, Drusilla. They've just been abandoned by their patriarch, Angel. And so they decide that they're going to steal a very powerful relic. And that's going to, be the plan. But then, unfortunately, a monster gets to it before they do, who is the leader of the demons of the underworld of London. And so now, of course, they got to go steal it from him. And so he's got to navigate all of these paranormal plots, royal black ops, and of course, the occasional break for tea time. They may be monsters, but they're still British monsters. So you got to have your tea. So there you go. Super fun. It's always good to have a nice Buffy book come out. And it's nice to see some of the other characters in this little prequel here that we've got. So there you go. Bloody Fool for Love.
Always time for tea.
Always got to have
Seems like
time.
there's always time for Buffy too. Boy, that popularity of Buffy does not go away at all.
Yep. Buffy never
Nope.
dies.
Yeah. Solid fans for Buffy still to this day.
So Darcy said, I don't know if this is letting the cat out of the bag, but whatever. Darcy just saw on Good Morning America's book group Instagram that they have part of the cover of Mika in real life as a tease for tomorrow's book. So commends you, Gabe, on your selection.
I can't say if it is or not till tomorrow.
I cannot say.
Some reps would have been like, I probably shouldn't be telling you this. If it is, in fact, the pick for tomorrow. But I don't know if it is or not. They don't tell us. And I can't say.
You heard it here
But
first on Tea
suspiciously-
Time, everybody.
But that
Somebody
somebody's
else,
very
you didn't say
observant, right?
anything. You didn't say anything. Somebody else
No.
said something. That did not come from you.
Right, and it does look like Mika.
That definitely sounds like an excellent pick for their book group. I'm going to mention a book, even though it's kind of messed up to mention because it doesn't come out till October. But I stayed up till 4 a.m. reading this book.
No, that's a good one. We're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
It's called Singer Distance by Ethan Chattagnier. I hadn't tried to say it out loud till I looked at it. This is a alternative history book. In the 60s, this group of grad students from MIT are headed out to the desert because they are going to clandestinely send a message to Mars, because Mars contacted the Earth and sent a message to us, kind of written across the Martian surface, and it was written in their language, so Earth had to decipher it, and it turned out to be a series of characters that basically came out to 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4, 3 + 3 is blank. Basically, like, hey, kindergartners over there on Earth, can you decipher this and tell us if you're worth talking to? So these students are headed out to send a message back of their own, and it turns out to be this continuing correspondence, and we follow a character named Crystal Singer, who is this brilliant mind, and she ends up deciphering a lot of the messages. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to go on, but it's really good. It's beautiful. It's about relationships and the distance between people and the distances in the universe. And it's good for people who enjoyed the movie Contact. And I think Comps also mentioned Station 11. So that's coming out in October. And we do have some events coming up. We actually just announced an in-person event with Celeste Ng, author of, why am I blanking? Well, her new book is called Our Missing Hearts, and Everything I Never Told You, and Little Fires Everywhere, of course. So she'll be joining us at University of San Diego in October. And we also have Jamie Ford, author of Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet. He's actually coming into the store for a little happy half hour. And you can drop by and have a glass of wine on us, or a cup of wine probably, and talk to him and ask him some questions while he signs his new book, The Many Daughters of Ifong Moy, which is the #1 indie next pick of the month. Booksellers across the country decided this was the book everyone should read. So if you fancy some wine and a quick little meet and greet, duck in and out of the store, he'll be there on Friday this week. So there's a bunch of other events. You can check our website. And I think that's good. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. It's been fun. I'm so happy everyone showed up, so you didn't, again, just have to see me cry about Nichelle Nichols. I keep thinking about her. But yeah, and Julie will be back next week. Never fear. So thank you, everybody. Happy reading.
Everybody next week, probably.